It's that time of year again. Everyone knows that the holidays can become overwhelming quickly, so the sooner that you get things done, the better. For both shoppers and businesses, the best time to score great deals during the holidays is Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. And that's why you need Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Allbirds and Cowboy e-bikes to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their very first Black Friday or Cyber Monday this year. Shopify has everything you need to succeed from start to finish. First, Shopify's marketing tools help push your brand to the forefront of the chaos, no matter what platform your customers are on. Then, Shopify helps draw customers in with the ease of a convenient checkout with Shop Pay, Shopify's expedited checkout that saves customers information and reduces hassle. The best part? Shop Pay has been proven to boost conversions, meaning you see less abandoned carts and more profits. You can also stress less knowing that Shopify's award-winning customer support team is on standby 24/7 to help with any issues that arise, allowing you to get back to business as fast as possible. This Black Friday, join thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/income. That's shopify.com/income. Go to shopify.com/income and make this Black Friday one to remember.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels on everything from lamps to ceiling fans, even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes, now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox, clean feels good.
This content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion advised.
I slammed my foot on the gas and my car reversed quickly. The figure jumped out of the way, and as I switched the gear to drive, my headlights illuminated a man.
I picked up my dog and ran as fast as I could. The snow did its best to slow me down, but the sound of the stranger in hot pursuit kept me at full speed.
The next thing I knew, I felt his tight grip on my arm. He called me a liar and started dragging me towards his apartment.
From Killer Podcasts, true tales of horror, bizarre happenings, unexplainable events. This is Disturbed. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This week we have 3 inexplicable stories that will make you rethink everything. So sit back, listen closely, and dive into the horror. In our first story, a student hopes to find some peace and quiet in the woods, but instead, a stranger finds him. Narrated by Bodhi Crowe from Reddit user Sagi.
This happened to me when I was about 14. It was during the 2020 lockdown, in the cold winter of Canada. I was attending school from home and had an acting assignment for my theater class. I was going to have to get pretty loud, and I didn't want to bother my family, so I decided to record the scene outside. We live in the woods and we don't really have neighbors, so I knew I wouldn't be bothering anyone. I asked my sister if she wanted to come with me and help record. She initially agreed, but when she stepped outside, she said she got a weird feeling. All of a sudden, she didn't want to join me and ran back into the house. I still wanted company, so I leashed my 3-year-old pug and headed off into the woods behind the house. On the way, I made a test recording in order to practice my facial expressions before the real thing. As I was reciting my lines, I caught a glimpse of someone behind me in the forward-facing camera. They were covered head to toe with multiple blankets and coats that swallowed everything but their eyes. I also recognized some kind of sharp object in their hand, but it was obscured by some of the fabric. I picked up my pace, too timid to look backwards. It was well below freezing, and I had never seen strangers here before, let alone someone dressed like that. After a few moments, my dog noticed them too. He was the sweetest dog I'd ever met, so sweet that he never barked, and I mean never. Yet something about this person freaked him out. He turned around and barked his head off, so much so that I couldn't even get him to keep moving forward. Seeing me struggle, the stranger let out a laugh. "I'm not scared of dogs," they said, still walking towards me. I finally got my dog to turn around and we hastily walked away from the stranger. I was on high alert, hoping to God I wouldn't hear the crunch of footsteps in the snow behind me. But I did. The stranger was following me. That was it. I picked up my dog and ran as fast as I could. The snow did its best to slow me down, but the sound of the stranger in hot pursuit kept me at full speed. All of a sudden, I noticed the path ahead was about to disappear. I had reached the top of a 10-foot ledge. Hearing the stranger not far behind me, I had no other option. I leapt off the ledge, praying the snow was deep enough to catch me. I landed in a patch of snow nearly 3 feet deep. It wasn't comfortable, but I was uninjured. Now freezing and covered in snow, I haphazardly squirmed around until I could get myself and my dog out of the rut. My bare hands were quickly becoming numb. I picked up the dog and started running again, until I realized there was no loud crash into the snow behind me. I stopped and looked back at the ledge. The stranger was standing there at the edge, looking all around, and he spotted me. Too afraid to make the jump, he headed in another direction in an attempt to slide down towards me. I turned back around and ran as fast as I could, following a path I knew would lead back to my house. I must have put enough distance between us, because by the time I arrived home, I couldn't hear any footsteps behind me. I went to my room and stared at the wall for a while, trying to process it all. I never found any answers, and I never saw the stranger again.
Don't run away. Disturbed will return in a moment. My neighborhood has seen a rise in vandalism recently, so I decided I needed a security system that didn't just catch criminals, but stopped crime in the first place. That's why I got Simply Safe. Their AI-powered cameras detect threats while they're still outside your home and alert real security agents. It's a game changer. They take action in real time, confronting the intruder, letting them know they're being watched on camera, and that police are on their way, and even sounding a loud siren and triggering a spotlight if needed. That is real security, and that's why Simply Safe was named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. I got Simply Safe a few months back, and I've never felt more secure. We often leave the car in the driveway, and I was worried about a break-in. I set up Simply Safe cameras, which was super easy, and now I have confidence that my belongings are safe, whether I'm out of town or settling in for the night. That's real safety at the click of a button. Now I have peace of mind while I'm out of the house. Simply Safe is incredibly dependable. The monitoring system is fast and reliable, and the app is super easy to use, so I'm always able to check in. Simply Safe protects not only your family, but your wallet too. There's no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. Plus, with a 60-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk to try it out. For anyone looking to protect their home or business, I definitely recommend Simply Safe.
Right now, Disturbed listeners can save 50% on a Simply Safe home security system at simplysafe.com/disturbed. That's simplysafe.com/disturbed. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Winter is always tough for me. With the shorter and colder days, I never feel 100%. But this year is different, thanks to AG1. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps. The end of the year always brings around extra stress, but AG1 is filled with prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes that help support regularity and gut resilience. Darker and shorter days often throw our bodies out of rhythm, but AG1's superfoods and B vitamins support steady energy without the crash. I love AG1, and to get the most out of this holiday season, you should definitely give it a try. Head to drinkag1.com/disturbed to get a free welcome kit with an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 when you first subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/disturbed. She parked at the beach to enjoy the waves, but she caught a glimpse of something terrifying in her rear view. Narrated by Danielle Patterson from Reddit user throwaway1991142.
It was a cold, dark November night, around 1 a.m., and I was leaving the hospital where I work. I lived about 45 minutes away and was dreading the drive home. It was very windy out that night, and as I left work, the brown leaves swirled around me in the parking lot. I shivered, pulling my jacket tighter around me as I slid into the front seat of my car. When my coworker had come in to relieve me, she had advised me to take the old highway home, not my usual route of the new highway. "It's so windy, my car almost blew off the highway," she said. The old highway ran almost parallel to the new highway, except it snaked through thick forests and wound along the coastline. Normally, it would take me 45 minutes to get home, but taking the old highway would take me at least an hour. But I wasn't worried about time. I was just worried about making it home safe. As I drove, my headlights illuminated the thick trees lining the road. The wind would make my car sway every now and then, making me grip the wheel tighter. All I could think about was the warmth of my bed, and I sighed, turning on my Bluetooth to listen to one of my podcasts. There was no one else on the road, and a car hadn't gone by in over 20 minutes. There were no street lamps on the old highway, and it was always very dark, with thick forest on either side, little beaches, and a house every now and then. About 10 minutes later, I passed through a tiny little town, if you could even call it a town. It had a grocery store, a drugstore, a couple restaurants, and an old gas station. As I drove, I noticed the first vehicle I had seen in a while. An old truck was idling in the gravel parking lot by the gas station. This wasn't unusual, as it was a fishing town, and it was starting to become lobster season. But as I drove by, I could see the outline of someone sitting in the truck. It gave me a weird sense of comfort to know I wasn't the only one awake and on the roads at this time. I kept on driving, but I could feel myself growing very tired. About 10 minutes ahead, there was a little beach that I loved, so I decided to pull over and stop for a few minutes to have a quick smoke. The cold air and the sound of the waves would probably do a better job of waking me up than my podcast would. Plus, it was stormy out, so the waves would be huge, and I loved watching the ocean's magnificent waves pummel the coastline during a storm. I pulled into the gravel parking lot by the beach and parked at the very end. There was no one else there, and as I parked, I put down my window and lit my smoke. I stepped out of the car for a few moments to try and get a glimpse of the waves, but the wind was so strong it almost took my breath away. The cold air was harsh as it hit my face, but it did its job by waking me up. But that was enough for me. I shivered and got back into the car, turning the heat on high. I breathed in the cold, salty air and finally felt myself relax. It had been a rough shift, and I was grateful to have a few days off after tonight. About halfway through my smoke, headlights swept across my car as another vehicle pulled into the parking lot. It parked about 100 yards away from me and idled for a few minutes before turning off. I was plunged into darkness again, with no sound except for the crashing waves and the wind. All of a sudden, I started to get an uneasy feeling in my stomach and was unsure why. It was not uncommon for another vehicle to be here at this hour, as a lot of people would come to the beach late at night, myself included. Some would walk along the beach in the moonlight or smoke a joint around a little fire, or young couples would come and mess around in their cars. But still, I felt uneasy. I glanced at the time. It was 1:40 a.m. Shivering to myself, I lit up another smoke and leaned back in my seat, trying to ignore the growing heaviness in my stomach. But I was enjoying the sound of the waves and was reluctant to leave just yet. I'll leave after I finish the smoke, I said to myself. Usually the beach was lit up by the moonlight, but tonight it was so dark. The only sounds were of the waves hitting the beach and the wind whistling through my car. After a few moments, I thought I heard the sound of gravel crunching, but looked around and didn't see anything. I shrugged and rubbed my eyes, suddenly feeling tired again. I was almost done with my smoke, so I put my foot on the brakes to start my car. The red light of my brakes illuminated something through my rearview mirror for just a split second. I whipped around, but there was nothing there. I shook my head and tossed my smoke out of the car, laughing to myself. It's all these true crime podcasts I've been listening to. They're getting to me, I thought to myself as I put the car in reverse. I glanced at my side mirror before reversing, and my heart almost dropped into my stomach. There, illuminated by the red light, was a figure crouched down, leaning against the side of my car near the brake light. He seemed to be slowly inching closer to the driver's door. A jolt of fear ran through me and I froze for a second. Then, fight or flight kicked in and my body chose flight. I slammed my foot on the gas and my car reversed quickly. The figure jumped out of the way, and as I switched the gear to drive, my headlights illuminated a man in a dark sweater and jeans, running towards the other vehicle. It was the truck I had seen earlier by the gas station. My heart sank and I felt sick to my stomach as I floored it out of the parking lot and back on the road. I was terrified. I was about 20 minutes from home, and the old highway was basically one long winding road with very few side streets and not many options to hide in case he followed me. My eyes kept darting to the rearview mirror, praying I wouldn't see headlights behind me. But after a few moments, there they were. My stomach dropped again, and I increased my speed. There had to be a road up ahead I could quickly turn into and hide. Luck must have been on my side, because as I turned a sharp bend, the headlights disappeared from my rearview momentarily, and I could see there was a little gravel road quickly coming up on the left. I yanked the steering wheel left, barely braking, and turned, gunning it up the little road. The road was so narrow it would only fit one car, and I was relieved to see the road had many turns, which would hide me from the main road. After getting a few hundred yards down the road, I quickly shut off my lights and rolled to a park. I sat there, shaking, in total darkness, praying I wouldn't see the headlights come up the road behind me. It was silent, except for my harsh breathing. My heart was pounding. I rolled down my window and listened. It was quiet, and all I could hear was the wind blowing through the trees. I couldn't stop shaking. I wasn't a religious person, but I sat there praying. praying I wouldn't see those headlights, praying to just make it home safely to my warm bed, praying for this all to be just a nightmare. With nothing but darkness and forest surrounding me, I waited. 10 minutes went by, then 20. Nothing. The tension in my body eased and the sinking feeling in my stomach started to fade. I gave myself another 10 minutes, took some deep breaths, and then turned on my car, keeping my lights low. I had to do almost a 10-point turn to get myself turned back around on the narrow road. But I somehow managed to, and slowly drove down the little road back to the main road. As I came to the main road, I hesitated. I could see a few hundred yards in each direction as the road snaked around the coastline, and I didn't see any vehicles on the road. I took a deep breath and turned left towards home. The whole drive back, I was tense, but I didn't see that old truck again. Only 2 cars passed me, a police officer and a Jeep, and I made it safely home. As I pulled into my driveway and turned off my car, I made the promise to myself to never go to that beach at night again. Some people just have bad intentions, and unfortunately, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. Now I have high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network, all while keeping my phone, number, and contacts. Many of you know Mint Mobile has been partnered with us for a while now, and that's because I really do love Mint. Unlike my old carrier, Mint is reliable and affordable, so I've been telling everyone to make the switch. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/disturbed. That's mintmobile.com/disturbed. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Cold mornings, holiday plans. This is when I just want my wardrobe to be simple. Stuff that looks sharp, feels good, and things I'll actually wear. For me, that's quince. And the bonus? Quince pieces make great gifts, too. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with quince. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury and wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middlemen to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands. I've always wanted a high-quality parka, but they've always been too expensive. When I saw Quince had one at a much better price, I jumped at the opportunity. It looks great, and now I'm prepared for whenever the weather decides to drop. Speaking of being prepared, I've decided to get a jump start on my holiday shopping. I took a look at Quince's bed and bath collection, and the hand-woven rattan bathroom accessories set caught my eye. My friend is moving into a new house at the start of the year, and it fits her casually elegant design style perfectly. I can't wait to see her face when she opens it. Give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/disturbed for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/disturbed. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disturbed. Welcome back, listeners. Finally, An unstable man grips the wrist of his neighbor, and he won't let go. Narrated by Terra Ashe from an anonymous Reddit user.
I've told stories about my creepy neighbor before, but something happened recently that crossed the line. I usually smoke on my balcony, but recently there have been a lot of wasps. One even landed on me and it was huge, black and white stripes and almost an inch long. So during the day, I've been smoking downstairs. The other day, I was sitting outside and my creepy and unusual neighbor sat down next to me. He started talking, but he didn't really make any sense. He just kept repeating the same few phrases. I wanted to go upstairs, so I stood up and started walking to the garage door. The next thing I knew, I felt his tight grip on my arm. He was clearly angry for some reason, and I was terrified. I tried to calm him down by saying I'd be back, but over and over he said, "We were supposed to hang out, you promised." I apologized and explained that he never responded to my text that day. That made him even angrier. He called me a liar and started dragging me towards his apartment. I was panicking and crying, trying to break free. I yelled at him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. Once I realized that wouldn't work, I tried calming him down, but we were getting closer and closer to his apartment. Running out of time, I snapped and pushed him as hard as I could. He fell down and I broke out of his grip. I ran inside and up to my apartment, hysterically crying. When I got back to my apartment, I told my husband everything. He called the police and they came over to hear my story. After they interviewed me and my neighbor, they told me there wasn't anything they could do. After the incident, I started having nightmares, and I've been too afraid to go downstairs. The other day, I needed to meet with my dad, but before he arrived, my neighbor saw me in the hallway. He started following me back to my apartment, but thankfully, my dad showed up right in time and shouted at him, so he ran off. I don't know if he's a drug addict or hit his head or something, but I definitely don't feel safe with him in the building. I'm terrified to leave my condo, and I don't know if there's anything we could do about it.
Want more Disturbed? Check out our Patreon for member-exclusive content, early merch access, and other cool perks. I'm your host, Doug Bailey, and this has been Disturbed, a production of Killer Podcasts and part of the Evergreen Network. For more paranormal and true crime shows, visit killerpodcasts.com. Follow our social channels at Disturbed Podcast on Instagram or Disturbed_pod on Twitter. If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and reviewing on your favorite listening platform. Share your own true horror story at disturbedpodcast.com. Music by Epidemic Sound and by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Our producer is Declan Roars. Audio engineering by Nathan Corson, Will Pritz, and Sean Rule Hoffman. Executive producer Bridget Coyne. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Beware, extreme passion can lead to shocking consequences.
On Scorned Love Kills, the podcast from ID, find out what happens when lust and obsession turn deadly. In each episode, you'll hear direct audio from the hit TV show and uncover true, unexpected stories about love gone wrong, about relationships that
become a volatile mix of jealousy and anger.
Listen to Scorned Love Kills on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Is the pressure of your wedding day being perfect from sunrise to sunset weighing on your mind? Planning a wedding can be stressful, but it shouldn't be, and that's why we're here to help. On the Bridezilla podcast, we celebrate love and help you plan your wedding day. We're all about keeping it real and having fun every step of the way. So whether you're just starting to plan or counting down the days, we're here to help you stay cool, calm, and collected. We have expert tips and amazing guests. Let's get this party started and embrace your inner Bridezilla. Listen to Bridezilla wherever you get your podcasts, or visit us at thebridezilla.com.